Our whole society seems geared to discussing the weaknesses of male nature. I'd personally like a little space to discuss the weaknesses of female nature.
Women like to see themselves as a cut above men, as good as men and then some, a sort of men plus. They're as good and they can have children.
Women have always had complex lives. They've always had, much more than men, they've always had to be able to juggle the challenges of home and community and themselves and their workplace.
But rather than the ability to produce children putting women above men, it's quite possibly the only thing that puts women on a par with men at all.
There is power in the female image. Just a hint of shapes is enough. This is why women strive to achieve this shape. It's a continual attempt to achieve power over men.
These are the latest trend, apparently. Padded knickers to give you a J-Lo sort of behind. No, this is... right.
The philosopher Arthur Schopenhauer made a study of women in the 19th century. He observed that women's major flaws include vanity, selfishness, a lack of a sense of justice, and the desire to manipulate men. He described how women basically love themselves. He noted that women have their natural weapons, just as men have theirs, and he didn't see women as innocent and passive, as we seem determined to do today. Men are very honest and upfront if they like a woman, and yet this honesty from men is criticised as shallow.
Every guy's IQ drops 50 points when she walks in a room. When do guys stop acting so stupid, Mom?
When they close the lid on the coffin.
Women actually dare to suggest that liking a woman for what she is somehow bad, compared with her technique of choosing a man.
Her method involves finding out his salary, what car he drives, and if he owns his own house.
Look over there. It's a woman who respects you despite your low status and tiny income.
Where? I don't see a woman who respects me despite my low status and tiny income.
Who are you, and what gives you the right to barge into people's homes?
I'm Dr. Craig Ehrlich.
Oh. Well, do sit down. Take off those shoes. Perhaps a quick foot massage and a dozen or so years of wedded bliss. What, am I the only one who heard the word doctor?
It's important for men to get their money right. Women, it's important for you to get your money right, but it's not as important for you as it is for us. Why, women? Because no one will ever not fuck you because you're broke. Your pussy will never be turned down for financial reasons.
Big expensive cars are not an extension of the male penis, but rather an extension of women's greed.
A man yesterday told me if I buy a car, I must buy one with a pussy magnet.
He means a car that women will like.
Yes, but where you keep this magnet?
No, there's no magnet. No, he means the vehicle. Women love the Hummers.
A woman chooses a man for what he can do for her, whereas a man chooses a woman for what she is.
Right, who do you have to screw around here to get a cup of tea and a chocolate biscuit? Right.
Okay, when you're out on a date, who pays?
Generally, I would pay first. I'm quite happy to do that. On the second date, if she don't reach for her purse, then I tell you what, I'm raising some subjects, I tell you.
I was having this exact conversation with 3 girls in a bar last night, and they all agreed that it's polite for a man to offer to pay on the first date, but they would refuse and go halves.
It's polite for a man
It's
to
polite
offer.
for a man to offer.
Don't let me meet
Look,
these
don't judge them. Don't judge them, man. They say it's
They're not
because
giving me much choice. If they say there's a string up black people and shoot them,
but they refuse. But yeah, I can see where they're coming from, because actually, first of all, they were all saying, no, I don't want a man to pay, don't want a man to pay. And then, I was questioning them, and the fact was, it was bullshit. Because at the end of the day, if you walk into a bar on a date with a girl and you don't even offer to pay, then she's going to think you're some kind of arse.
When a man wants something, he goes, damn, I want that. I want it bad. I got to figure out what I got to do to get that. When a woman wants something, she goes, damn, I want that. I want it bad. I got to figure out who I could get to get me that.
But you look for trust, that's your main thing.
Yeah, I want somebody I can trust. I want somebody I can talk to. And I know I can, talk to her about you guys, I can bitch you guys off, and she won't come back and tell you, do you know what I'm saying? So.
Okay. How about you? What's the main thing?
Yeah, trust is important. The main thing for me, I think, is she's got to be able to talk. She's got to be intelligent. That's the main thing. She's got to be intelligent. She's got to be open-minded and liberal.
What do you then look for? I mean, is her job important for us?
It's important that she has a job.
Why is that?
because I'm not about to support any woman.
No scrubs.
Yeah.
But if she's
no
a nice
pigeons.
girl, what's wrong with supporting her?
One, I probably can't afford to at this moment in time. So I would want somebody that has a job, yes. What job she does, doesn't bother me.
So she was a cleaner?
Doesn't
no
matter.
problem.
As long as she can make ends meet, then...
You're saying a job is not important?
Job is not important, no. I'm not about to judge any woman by what she does. At all, I wouldn't do that.
Free spirits. Nice guys. Bad boys. Rich. Rich. Rich.
Men are not the only players, the ones who initiate an approach and who control the dynamic when it comes to chatting up women. When a woman puts on makeup and perfume and gets dressed up to go out, she's being sexually aggressive, calculating, and predatory. A man generally knows that although he's making the first move when he goes over to chat to a woman, the woman actually made the first move before she left the house. But how many times have you been to a nightclub looking for girls, and how many how many worthwhile girls have you met?
Well, worthwhile, hardly any. Good looking, a lot.
A girl in a nightclub has power because she's in a nightclub. Because guys who are coming there are coming to pick up and they're coming to look. And so a woman she's got low cut, she's got low cut dress, she's got short skirt, and she has power. She has power because you're coming there for that. That's what you're coming for.
That's what women go there for as well.
Well,
don't let them deceive you and say they're going out just to have a dance and just to meet friends. That's
they're going to display their power and to be looked at and to basically control men. And that's my problem with nightclubs, because that's all that it's about, really. It's about a woman displaying her goods. And okay, I'm not saying she's forced to. She's doing that of her own free will. And it's about men coming to purchase those goods. But yeah, women do have the more power in that situation. And I'll tell you why. They have more power because they're the ones doing selecting. It's the men who are coming up saying, can I do this, can I do that? And they're the ones sitting there going, you can have this ticket, you can have a ticket. You can't have a ticket.
To an extent, I would agree. However, with me, I'm the one doing the selecting. No, I'm not bigging myself up, yeah, but...
We glorify women as beautiful and men as merely functional. The Hollywood image of women is nothing less than amazing perfection. Women are gorgeous, or at least they are after hours of makeup. But these women don't really look like this.
On your website, why do you show pictures of famous, attractive women in no makeup and then in makeup side by side?
Those particular images, I like them because I think that the camera is the biggest liar of all, when it can be, women are dolled up in front of the camera, made to look wonderful. And, women, by and large, are trained to cover themselves in various bits and bobs to heighten their attractiveness, and I think those images contrasting Hollywood celebrity looking glamorous in one photograph with her looking positively normal and average, and in some cases quite horrible, in a photograph taken when she was not aware of it, not posing for it, and not covered in the aforementioned materials. I think it's worth, especially to young men. Men are easily fooled by the way women look. I mean, they really are. They're what's the word? Gullible, easily fooled, easily misled, and easily infatuated simply by the shape of women, and they were born to be influenced in that way.
Who's the biggest liars? Women the biggest liars. Biggest liars. Look at you, all of you. You lie. You a fucking liar. You. You're all liars. All of you fucking liars. Masters of the lie. The visual lie. Look at you. You got on heels, you ain't that tall. You got on makeup, your face don't look like that. You got a weave, your hair ain't that long. You got a wonder bra on, your titties ain't that big. Everything about you is a lie, and you expect me to tell the truth. Fuck you.
And it's not just Hollywood women. What does any woman look like?
Mineral pigments blend perfectly with your natural skin tone to help deflect the light away from your flaws.
Men don't draw lines around their biceps to make their muscles stand out more. Nor do they powder their jawline for that Superman effect.
Yet women spend no expense and spend a lot of time beautifying themselves in order to manipulate men. Women's vanity is a flaw, yet it's encouraged on a huge scale.
Except nothing less than perfection. You're worth it.
I can feel the moisture. I love it. You're worth it.
Lashes feel stronger and look up to 60% longer.
And if you tell women it's scientific, they'll pay extra.
With expansyl molecules, nanosomes of proretinal A, L'Oreal's innovation Dermalastil
has an amino peptide complex.
Concentrated Boswellox.
Women believe it all and spend accordingly.
The whole of a woman's existence seems wrapped up in this vanity, deception, and manipulation. A typical growing boy will spend a lot of time learning how to kick a ball straight, how to shoot an alien on his video game, or how to keep a car racing on the track. What's a typical girl doing? She's reading books about relationships, interacting with her dolls, figuring out how to put on makeup, and learning how to smile sweetly to get her way.
Carla says being pretty can be like a decision that you make. You just sort of hold your face really still, and then you open your eyes a little wider, like this. And then you just kind of go blank.
Girls wear perfume and makeup from a young age. They learn how to smile sweetly at boys and use different methods to get their way.
Chris?
Yes?
Maria?
Yes.
I was wondering
Yes?
if maybe you can help me make a cake?
Yes.
She may not know how to work an oven, but she knows how to work me.
But while we discipline boys for fighting each other to get their way, we simply fail to appreciate how a female uses her weapons.
I have to say that it's probably easier dealing with boys' relationship problems than it is with girls, because girls get incredibly complicated and quite highly structured in terms that girls have incredibly long memories. And girls' actually memories can go right the way back to when they were 3 or 4 or even 5 and 6. And they will actually sort of, use body language as a way of actually getting at another girl. So, for example, eyes, the way you stand, the way you look, particularly innuendos, comments, the way you treat your friendship groups. So dealing with girls is often a lot more complicated and highly structured, whereas boys, by and large, if they have a bust-up and there's been an issue, you can resolve it fairly quickly by literally shaking hands and resolving it, and they will actually have a sense of fairness and be quite glad to have things reconciled. Girls will actually, on the whole, if it's a big issue, hold and keep a score of wrongs. It's hard to be on the outside of the circle.
Quite a number of studies about this. Yes, I think it is true that women are better liars. They're better at covering up. The actual hardwiring of the brain means that women are more able, they are more intelligent in emotional and psychological terms. Of course, therefore, a man is a complete disadvantage if a woman wants to hide something from him.
As a result, women are never restrained in their desires to control and manipulate. They're never restrained from developing their particular form of violence.
Your butt upstairs.
And with that, Tanya learned the magic words. She could do anything she wanted, as long as it was followed by, "Drew hit me."
Men seek to control the world. Women seek to control men.
What makes you think you can just walk in there and find what we need?
They're called boobs, Ed. You know, it would probably be easiest if I just squeezed back there and poked around myself. Would that be all right with you?
Oh, heck yeah, come on back.
It's power. Sex for me is power.
How so?
I have something men want. And even though they know they're not going to get it, they love the flirt. They love being in my company. And it's an equalizer.
An equalizer?
I'm not the smartest one in the room, but I get a lot of help from my coworkers, mostly male.
It may be going too far to say that women only have an interest in subjugating men, but feminist philosophy revolves around this idea. It's about extracting ever more use out of men without having to engage with them on an interpersonal level.